All right, welcome back to the What's Your Motive podcast. Today I have another special guest by the name of Rayco Hollis. Rayco is an aspiring chef. He does chefing right now as well on the side. A family man, a husband, father of many, mentor, friend, you name it. Just glad to have him here on the What's Your Motive podcast. How you doing today, Rayco?
I'm all good, man. How you doing?
Doing well, man. Doing well, man. It's a nice Saturday, a couple of days before the new year. So, just really looking forward to easing on into the year, man. The year has come down to this finality, and I'm just looking forward to some continued progression.
Oh yeah.
All right, all right. What you got? What you do today?
Man, I went to get my hair cut.
Mm-hmm.
Went to get an oil change.
Okay.
And now I'm here.
All right. Took care of a little business. Took care of yourself a little bit, and then you came over here to spend some time with me. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, man. So
it's always good to be over here, man, chilling, man.
Right.
This is our second home, though.
Yeah. Y'all usually over here for date nights. Sometimes y'all be over here for the night all the way to the next day. So that's good though. So for the viewers and the listeners out there, tell us a little about yourself. Like, where are you from? What your family makeup is? How many siblings you got? And how you kind of like gradually got into wanting to be a chef?
Well, I'm gonna say I'm born in Chicago.
Okay.
All right. But I'm from Milwaukee.
Okay.
Well, I'm 40. I know I look like I'm 26.
Hi.
You know. And I have 5 children and 1 on the way.
5 children, 1 on the way. Congratulations. Whew. Congratulations. Are you excited?
I'm excited. You know, it's like you don't plan how many.
At least you try.
You don't plan how, you know, but you know. I mean, you still excited when you have them. Right. You know, you still excited. You know, it's like you don't want extra kids, but if you have them, you have them. That's just what it is.
So you're welcoming another precious life into this world, and that's So I got you. How many siblings do you have?
I have. Well, see, now I was thinking about one parent, but I got to think about both.
Okay.
I got 8.
8 siblings.
Yeah.
Is it split up evenly? 4 on your mom, 4 on your dad? What?
Yep.
Just like
I'm the middle.
You're the middle child.
On both sides. So I got on my mom's side.
Okay.
I got 2 older sisters.
Okay.
2 younger brothers.
Okay.
On my father's side, the opposite. 2 older brothers, 2 younger sisters, and I'm still in the middle.
That's crazy.
I'm in the middle on both sides, and I'm in the middle. If you put everybody together, I'm still in the middle.
Okay. How did it feel being? Because I don't know. Because my sister and I, we're 12 years apart. She's older. I'm younger. I pretty much grew up with her a little bit, but I was pretty much like the only child.
12
so
years.
12 years is crazy.
Yeah.
I was known as my mom's miracle baby or whatever. But you being the middle child on both sides, did you feel like the middle child where it was like, you know how you say like the middle child kind of gets some attention but not as much as the other people?
Nah.
Not really.
I don't know nothing about none of that, man.
Okay. So
I don't even think they even know that I'm,
right.
You know.
Right.
They probably ain't paying attention. Unless somebody asks, then they have to think about it. Like, oh, yeah. Maybe.
No, I got you. What school and what year did you graduate?
High school?
Yeah.
03.
03. From where?
From John Marshall High School.
John Marshall. We got some alumni.
Milltown, Milwaukee.
Mike
John
Taylor went to John Marshall. Mike Taylor. He's the first G League player to be drafted into the NBA. He actually was at the Tot Lot, the 12th annual Tot Lot event that I did with my boy Victor Sloan. Mike Taylor came out there and spoke. He did doing a lot of things in the community. Actually, he had a summer basketball league for kids, and it was all out of his own pocket. He asked one of my friends actually coach for him, help coach and things like that. He's a really good person to kind of like get to know and work with too in the community. Shout out to Mike.
Who did he play for?
He played for John Marshall, and then he played for the Clippers.
Oh, okay.
Yep, he played for the Clippers.
Is he retired now?
Pretty much, but he plays in the Big Three, so he plays for the Ghost team. I think he's like captain. I mean, he killing.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So, y'all fellow alumni from John Marshall. Okay. John Marshall. He might have been your year. Let me see. 03. I'm not sure how much older Mike is compared to me. I was 05. He might have been. Maybe he was right before. I'm not sure. I had to check. I'm not sure.
It's supposed to have been 02, man.
You supposed to be 02?
I had to go back to school to get .02 or something.
Like a credit?
Yeah. Like
was it elective or something?
something?
Was it elective or like a core class?
Man, I actually forgot what it was, man. I just thought that was crazy. I had to go back. And it seemed like it was a short time I had to go back. But for that little point that I needed, right. It was too long. Too long for me. That was crazy. Like .2.
So after you graduated from John Marshall, what did you end up doing? Or where did you end up going?
Man, I went into the workforce, man. I initially was signed up for college. I wanted to go to ITT Tech to be I wanted to design homes, an architect, because I'm good at drawing, and I wanted to be an architect. I went to ITT Tech to fill out an application. I took the test. The test was $100. I passed the test too, but the school was way too expensive, at least around the time I went.
So I think I just learned something about you then. So you telling me architecture was your first love?
Well, I wouldn't say architect was my first love because I didn't feel a way about architect the way I feel about cooking. It's just I knew how to draw and I liked drawing, and I wanted to put that skill to use. I'm very creative, so yeah. Okay.
Nothing wrong with that. So you did the architecture at ITT where you were going to do it, right? When you found out that ITT Tech was too expensive, where you was like, yeah, I'm not paying all that, what did you do then? What? I
just stopped focusing on school and just started, going out to the workforce and out there being a young man, just really wouldn't. Now that I'm older, honestly, I wouldn't focus like I should have been. I wouldn't focus like I should have been.
After high school or in high school?
After high school. After high school, after I didn't go to ITT Tech, it was like, you know what? It's time to get out here in life and, work and get in trouble, pretty much. My passion for food actually kind of started building more when I started working in a restaurant.
And what restaurant did you first start out working?
My first job was Checkers.
At Checkers. Shout out Checkers.
On 35th in Fond du
Lac. Oh, my gosh. I used to always walk up there and eat up there. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first job, man. I worked there for 3 years. What it was it's like we made it a game when we was in there. Okay. The speed. Okay. Me and this other dude or whatnot, man, we have fun up in there making it a game with how fast we can make the food. And you got to get a thrill out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
So I went from there to Taco Bell and McDonald's. I started working in fast food first. I started kind of having fun with trying to see how fast I can get this stuff done and get it out there. You know what I mean? Right. So my passion kind of built from that excitement.
From that excitement. Okay. And then, so you that's where it started, kind of, more so in terms of that. Yeah. And then what did you do after that? Is that when you went to college for it, or what were you doing? Were you doing things on the side?
Let's see. I started, I was cooking at home. As time grew, I started liking it more. I started cooking. The food was good or whatnot. I believe I started working. Where was I working at? probably a hotel at this time.
Okay.
I was thinking about going to school for culinary arts before I started working at a hotel.
Okay.
And I eventually started going, and there is where, you know, it grew. It was like, yeah, this is
what I want to do.
What I wanted.
So when you worked at the hotel, did you start working in like the kitchen or something like that?
Yeah, I was working in the kitchen.
Okay.
And the same passion was there, but, you know, it grew because of the different, you know, the hotel is different from the fast food.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So the experience that you gain, you know, helps grow your passion for the thing that you want to do.
Gotcha.
That's why if I would have went to ITT Tech, that probably would have been the thing.
Right.
Because when you start learning and you start doing more, you already got something for it already. It grows a lot of times when you in that field.
Right. So you go to MATC and you start your courses. And how does that go for you when you begin doing that? Like, are you enjoying it? Are you learning new things? Are you being able to apply the stuff that you're learning in class?
Yeah. So while I'm working in restaurants, because I was still working in some restaurants while I was at MATC.
Okay.
Like I worked at a hotel, and that's when I started going to school, but I worked at different places. Going into school, you know things already, of course, you know, but culinary school teaches you the fundamentals, and the fundamentals are always good to have in any sport.
Right.
The fundamentals, because that's the root of what it is that you're doing.
Absolutely.
I've worked in hotels, restaurants, country clubs, stuff like that, and people haven't went to school, and they would say, "Oh, you don't know, you don't need to go to school, this and that and the other." But people that don't go to school always say that.
Right.
Until you go to school, and then you find out, I know things you don't know. Yeah, you can learn stuff in a restaurant. Both of them work good together.
I think it might go both ways. And I'm not talking about from the culinary space, but I think from like teaching. So, for example, I know some, and this doesn't go for everybody for sure, but I know some teaching assistants that didn't go to school to be teachers, but they could be awesome teachers. You know what I mean? And some of them have been teaching assistants for a while, so obviously they picked up stuff along the way. But I do think, like you said, you still do need that educational foundation. You need some of the foundational things to be able to be the best educator or the best culinary arts chef or whatnot that you can be. But yeah, I know it's some people like, so for example, for me, I was in school for healthcare. I was working in hospitals at Freighter and Medical College and Wheaton Franciscan at the time, and then I ended up teaching. I never like desired to be a teacher or nothing like that, so I just went in and taught. I didn't even have an education to teach. I went to school after teaching 2nd grade, 5th grade, and my first time teaching 6th grade. So then I went and I started going to college for like all that. So which is crazy. So I see it both ways, but you definitely do need that academic piece.
Yeah.
You definitely need that academic piece.
The thing is that you don't have to go to school to be a great cook or chef like that, right? It's just going to school helps you or gives you an edge going into a restaurant. Because you can go in knowing things that you wouldn't have known if you didn't go to school. A lot of times, some people in restaurants, they start off as dishwashers, and they watching people on the line, and they kind of learn while being there looking at people. Right. But if you coming from school, you don't have to be the dishwasher. And then not only that, it's different from dishwashing and watching people too. Right. Because some places, some people, you know, the dishwasher can learn some things and then get on the line and try doing some stuff, but it's not the same as the person that already know how to do it. Right. Who knows how to do the handwork with what they're doing. You get what I'm saying? Right. Like, you can watch a doctor do some surgery on people for years, but it's not the same if you put your hands in there and do his work. So school is definitely
experience good. Is definitely big too, because I know a lot of people that will argue that, like, then when they tell you to go to school, so you go to school. So even like right now at the collegiate level in which I'm at, when I credential faculty, a lot of them have the educational piece, but they don't have the experience. And a lot of times you get looked over or you're getting rejected because you don't have the experience. So I think that where you went, MATC, I think is a good thing because not only is the Culinary Arts program pretty solid, but they give you the academic piece and they give you the hands-on piece that you actually can walk away with. Because I'm not sure, do they have an internship for that too?
Yeah, you gotta do certain amount of hours working in a restaurant, and they got a restaurant there in MATC where you have to do hours there.
And when you were going through that program and you were thinking like, you know, when you thought about like, okay, when I complete this or whatnot, did you think like I wanted to have my own restaurant? I wanted to have a food truck. I wanted to do pop-up, be a vendor at a pop-up event. What did you think? What did you have in mind?
All of it.
All of it?
The end goal was to ultimately open up a restaurant. Okay. Maybe a chain.
Right.
You know, the first stage is getting out there with your food to gain
absolutely
clientele.
Absolutely.
You know, that's the first step. You know what I mean? And then once you gain that clientele and you know that you got some loyal customers,
some traction,
you build from there.
Right.
You know, so yeah, definitely, man. Being in school too, man, what's funny is that being in school, you know people, you could tell when people have worked in a restaurant
right.
and haven't.
Right.
You know what I mean? But MATC, man, is cold, man. It's a real good school, man.
So I'm gonna ask this question as a chef, right? As a person that likes to cook too, because I've been able to try a lot of your dishes as well. You know what I mean? So, and I think it's pretty good. What is your favorite dish to make? Or give me your top 3 dishes to make.
Do I have to have one?
You don't have to put them in order. Yeah. Okay, give me 3 dishes. How about that? Give me 3 dishes that you like enjoy cooking in. Like you just like, man, I like doing this.
You know what was crazy? Well, man, it's honestly, man, I don't have no favorite dish.
Okay.
I tell people that all the time, and I think sometimes people think that you have to have one because you cooked, but because I'm still learning, and you never stop learning in any field that you're in. Because I haven't cooked enough dishes to say this is my favorite dish, I don't have one, man.
Gotcha.
Let me see. If I had a choice to say what type of cuisine,
there we go.
Maybe.
Okay, that's what I was gonna go next. I was gonna say like, what type of cuisines do you like to prepare in terms of like what do you like to eat? Let's do it like that. What food? I know. I guess that probably might not be a good question either.
I'm gonna do cuisine because I think I can.
All right, go ahead. Give me your top cuisine or cuisines.
Mexican and Italian.
Mexican and Italian. Okay.
You know, those are dishes that I like to cook. They fun to cook. You know, it's fun to cook them things. As far as like southern type foods, you know, you grew up on that, you're used to doing it or whatnot.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's just cooking something different that you didn't grow up on.
Gotcha.
You know, so
as a kid, were you one of the kids that like to be around the kitchen, like to make stuff, or this just came about as more so as you got older? Like, you know, some people be like, I've always been cooking since I was a kid, like wanting to know, trying to figure out stuff. Was it that type of thing for you, or is it like I tried the architecture thing, but I always loved foods. I did like to cook, but I didn't consider myself to be like this savant in cooking or this person that just loved to cook.
Yeah, it was like that. You know, it was like, you know, I always liked food.
Okay.
I'm like it's like my son Seth. That boy loves some food.
Seth loves to eat.
That boy, he look at that food, man, and he already didn't ate it while he looking at it. Man, I see the way he be looking at that food, man.
And he can eat.
Yeah.
And Seth is what? 7, 8?
Yep.
7 years
and
old.
All of them all of them can eat, man. They like food. They eat some good food.
They had to get it from you. They had to get it from you, and they probably got some good taste buds. Remember, my palate is not that diverse. I only eat so many.
Still growing my man. You know what? Going to school, you have to stretch your palate, even if for some things that you don't want to eat. I didn't try oysters.
I'm cool.
I mean, I know them things are expensive. People might like that stuff, and it might seem exquisite, but just the look of it.
I'm cool on that. I'm cool on calamari.
I tried it.
I don't do sushi.
And it's like, it ain't, the thing is like, it ain't that it's bad. It's just what it is.
Yeah, I just can't.
I didn't made, like, I like to have people try things they say they don't like. Oh, I don't like mushrooms. I don't like tomatoes, stuff like that.
I just started eating mushrooms a little bit.
I'll make some tomato soup or some mushroom soup. They'd be like, oh, man, that's good. But I don't like mushrooms. Right. That's how I am with that stuff, with the oysters and stuff.
Right.
You know, I just want you to try it and say, try it and see if you would like it cooked like this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So in thinking about just like your aspiration still, correct? Your aspiration still to do something in a chefing lane. How do you go about like trying to plan that out and still balance your family? Like, what is something that you do? Like, what is a strategy that you use? Besides just being like, I'm a man, I got to push through, you know what I mean? I got to figure it out. Like, what is something that you do or that you think to yourself or you remind yourself of?
You got to set some time aside, man, to build. You know,
how difficult is that? I don't mean to cut you off, but how difficult is that to set aside time for yourself as a working man, as a husband and a father? Like, how hard is that? I ask you that, like, laughing but very serious, because I find myself trying to figure out when do I get that time.
Making my head hurt thinking about it. Man, you. It's hard, man. It's hard to set some time. It's hard to set some time aside, you know. But my mindset, I was on the truck one day, and I was back there doing some stuff. And I thought to myself, I said, would you rather work 3 years extra hard building what you need to be on the side while working a full-time job? 3 years working a full-time job and doing what you need to do on the side to build that and accomplish what you're trying to accomplish with your own business, or would you rather work the rest of your life working for somebody else?
Right.
And I'm like, you get what I'm saying? So you're going to work hard for 3 years and build your own stuff while you're working a full-time job, or you're going to work hard for the rest of your life working for somebody else?
So do you think that's...
the options.
I think that's... I like that point. And the wife and I actually talked about that too. Because she'll be like, you know, you're working, but then you coming home and you're not doing anything that you want to do. Like, even this podcast, like, trying to get it up, I'll be like, yeah, I'll do it later. Or, hold on, I got, you know what I mean? I got to do this. I got to take Walt to basketball. I'll do it tomorrow, right? Like, is it easier said than done? Okay. I just want to make sure that I wasn't alone in that. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it is like that, where it's like, you work, you go to work, but then when you come home, you just like, I'm ready to turn it off. But it's like you got to turn it back on, take care of your family, and then set aside some time, like you said, to put forth some effort into making your aspirations materialize, right?
Yeah, because, you know, your body and your mind need rest. And if you don't have rest mentally and physically, it's hard to focus to do what you need to do. And I said this, you know, I learned this actually during, you know, maybe 2 weeks ago or something. I thought to myself, I believe I might have said this to you before, but I got to say it here.
Go ahead.
A man that has peace is a man that's focused. And a focused man is a dangerous man. And I'm talking about dangerous as far as what he can build.
Absolutely.
If you're not focused, man, it's hard to accomplish something that you need to. If you're a single man out there, even a woman, if you want to be a woman, I'm really talking to the men. If you're single, stay single until you build yourself, because it's easier to focus when you are your own boss. You know what I mean? Building yourself up. No distractions. Man, sit down and focus on what you're trying to do.
So you got to be careful, because remember that one. So there's one guy that was going around saying, like, remember he talking about like the 50-50 guy that was having that whole little situation, that whole conversation where this one man was like, I'm making $12, $14 an hour I do pay the bills, but my wife helps out at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And then this other man was like, my wife or my girlfriend, whatever he had, she don't pay nothing. I pay 100% of everything. And he was kind of shaming the guy that was making 12 to 14 hours, like really trying to make it. And I was having a conversation with somebody else, and I was like, because he said, yeah, don't get with nobody, don't marry nobody until you got all your stuff together. So then I said, okay, I hear that, but what if you don't ever get yourself together? Like, what if it be like you trying to do this and you 50? Not saying 50 is old to get married. I'm just saying, like, do we wait until that time, or is it more so like, hey, you lock in while you single, you lock in, you figure it out, and you work towards it so you can move on to your next step in life?
So, here's the thing about that. You know if you're focused or not. You get what I'm saying? It's either you focused on what you're trying to do, or you're not. If I say I'm not finna mess with no females, I'm not finna get involved with none of that stuff, I'm gonna stay focused on what I need to do, and you don't do it, you know that you're not. You're either gonna be focused or you're not. There's really no middle ground. Because if you're just sitting back doing nothing, you're not moving forward. So you initially, you naturally going to just go off and do the other thing. You're not going to be focused. You're going to be out there partying. You're going to be out there doing everything that's going to just take you from your goals and aspirations. You're naturally going to do that if you're not focused. So that's not really hard to do. I seen that video you was talking about with that too.
Yeah. I wonder.
I see that video.
Yeah, that was crazy. I wonder how hard it is for people, men and women, to like actually hone in and focus on what they're trying to do. I just find it, I know in spurts I can really, really lock in if I'm not worried about everybody else. So as a husband and as a father, as a son, you know what I mean? I'm always worried about the wife, the kids, my mom, friends, like what y'all need, what do they need? Somebody might call me, I might need to call them. Somebody need to meet up to talk, you know what I mean? I want to play ball, I want to get my exercise in, get these needs, you know what I mean? It's so many things that come into the daily occurrences of life just for me. So I'm just thinking, I just wonder like what everybody else got on their plate as well.
Right. But see, I'm thinking about more so from a single person's perspective. See, you got that going on while you're married with children. I'm talking about somebody who's single and they're not, maybe they just getting into college, and they might start dating or whatnot. I ain't saying there's nothing wrong with dating,
right?
But see, opening up those possibilities could, get you distracted. Because I actually talked to somebody, a college boy, and I was talking to him saying these same things, man. Stay focused on what you need to do, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? He already in college already. You might as well stay focused. Your years are gonna go by fast. So you really got two choices: focus on what you need to do, or go out there and be distracted with the females. And guess what? He was dating or something like that. And he said, man, I already know what you're talking about. Because him and the girl kind of, things didn't work out. And he said, man, I couldn't even focus in school and all of that stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's some people that are like strong enough to kind of like try to do both.
Yeah, they are.
I think, like you said, like having a clear head where you could just really, really focus on what you're trying to do would pose it, be a little bit better.
Say that again.
I think being able to like focus like with no other distractions and not focus on anything else would probably result in a better outcome for sure. But yeah, down on the other side, it's a little bit different. You know what I mean? It's a little bit different. But I mean, it's beauty in it because it's like
definitely hard to do.
But it's not impossible. I mean, even just like getting this whole thing set up, like I try not to drag my feet, but some days I did. But as I continue to like get things and talk to y'all and brainstorm and really try to put stuff down, trying to have meetings and stuff, and start seeing like some improvement, it encourages you. It don't make you want to like sit there and just sit on your thumbs and waste the time, because a lot of people want to wait and be like, it's not the time. Well, when is the time? If we're not guaranteed to live tomorrow, no, right?
Right.
All right. So yeah, man. When is the right time? People always worry about the time, but the time is always like now. I think they said that in the movie too.
Yeah, the time
The Great
is
Debater.
always
She
now.
said that.
Yeah, that's true. The time is always now, because if you don't start, you will never start. Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, especially with something like this, man. I feel like some people try to over prepare, where they, over prepare,
right?
Where they,
you want to be perfect. You want to look like a finished product right away, and that's not the case.
And it takes so long for you to try to make it seem like try to make everything perfect.
Right.
You learn through the process.
Right.
That's where you gain the wisdom.
Yeah.
When you start learning everything.
Right.
You can read all the books you want to.
You can watch all the videos you want
all
to.
the videos you want to.
And I advise people not to look at too many, because you'll start comparing and be like, oh, it don't look like this.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, some of them, when you look behind the scenes, they have so many cameras behind them. They have a switcher. They have a production team that does everything. It's just little old me and the wife, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I agree with you wholeheartedly. You got to start. Stop trying to make it so perfect and learn on the way. And that's the beauty in it, right?
Yeah.
So we got to continue to do that. I'm really hoping that you continue to push on with your culinary aspirations.
Oh, yeah, I will.
And I support it. And, it's been like that since when we were talking about 2019,
Yeah.
where I really been like, let's get behind Rayco, let's help Rayco. I'm really all about like trying to support that, because I see it. I see how influential it could be for the people that'll like your food, the attention it'll get, but then even the fact that, talk a little bit about how you want to do cooking classes for the kids.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm all about the students in terms of intrinsically motivated. What's your motive? And that's another reason why I had a podcast, because I want individuals that have aspirations to do things, to be able to pass that stuff down, to be a resource for the kids and even for some adults that are still learning.
Right. So I definitely want and will teach the youth, and maybe even have some adult classes. But I definitely want to teach the youth, and I also will do community work.
Right.
With the food. I want to feed the community.
Yep. Give some giveaways.
It ain't stuff. About because I won't label it feeding the hungry or nothing like that, because it ain't about that.
Right. Just
I want people to just come eat.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Food brings people together.
Yeah.
You can always get some people together when it comes to food, man.
And education, they say, if you want the parents to come, feed them.
Oh, yeah, man. You can bring a crowd to anything if you have food. You set up somewhere,
right.
Let them know it's going to be food there. People will be there.
Right. Although, over the years, I guess over the years, people have gotten a little picky. So if you be like, we're going to be ordering and catering something from Olive Garden, you know what I mean? They're more likely to do that, as opposed to just getting whatever the school is providing.
Right.
Anything. But something like you, where you're like, hey, I'm going to be at such and such place. Got the soups today. I got baked potatoes today. I got Mexican food today. You know what I mean? Come get you some. Come sample it. Come get you something to eat. Let's have a good time. Let's have a conversation. And one thing I do want to do, and please remind me, is when we are ready for you to do that, I need to contact my uncle, because he has a kitchen right next door to his grocery store on Fond du Lac.
Oh, yeah.
And shout out my Uncle Mo. He has that grocery store there because of the food desert in that area. And then he has a kitchen, which I'm sure I can get him to plug us to use.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I might have to use that too for like sooner, but definitely, I would like, I'm definitely gonna need a kitchen.
Absolutely.
Do everything that I need to do inside of. And I'm excited about doing this stuff, man. This community work.
Yes, man.
Feeding the people, and it's just so many doors can open up just from that alone.
Right, because I'm tired of the silos, man. Like, one reason why I have, like, what's your motive is, again, because I'm thinking, like, we have all these community organizations that are doing things for the community, doing things for the kids, right? They're all around, but I don't really, and like I said, I think I said it before, forgive me if I'm just missing it, but I don't see a lot of collaboration between the organizations. And maybe there is some, and I'm not saying that, but I want to put it out here because it's like I know individuals and people that could be beneficial to the community. And if we help you with your efforts, and then you partner with such and such, and you're doing these things, we can really, really create and cultivate a youth community that will be a lot better off than they are now.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking for. So, and I know this will be a legacy for your kids.
Oh yeah,
right?
Definitely.
Do you find that your kids do some of your kids like to? I know they like to eat, like you said, but do any of them take interest in the cooking aspect of it?
Yeah, they all like being in the kitchen when I'm cooking, man, and learning. You know, I limit what I had them do. You know, I'm there, but yeah. Seth told me he wanted to be a chef.
See?
You know what I mean?
Beautiful. Always want the little boy to.
And then the thing is too, and you said something about legacy. This is something I had thought about not too long ago too. My kids are my legacy.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
And my kids are my legacy, and it was something else. You know, that's going to get cut.
It's all right. No, it's all right. It's all flowing.
But it was something else I was about to say regarding the kids being my legacy, and it was the fact that me leaving my kids here is basically like my gift to the world, right?
Gotcha.
Because if I leave my kids with a good example, they're gonna pass that on to the world.
So your legacy lives on through them,
right?
Blessing the world with that,
right?
Because of what you've instilled in them, what you've trained them up to be, what you've raised them to be, the character, the resiliency. You know what I mean? Being able to interact and be a good person in general, being a believer. You know, all of that, which makes a lot of sense. So when we think about all the combination of things, Rayco, so we talk about you being from Chicago. Born in Chicago, raised in Milwaukee. Graduate 03 from Marshall, John Marshall High School. Supposed to be 02.
Good memory.
You go to ITT Tech. It's too expensive. Architecture was your first love. You end up going to MATC. You already had like a love for cooking and things like that, so you go into the Culinary Arts program. And now we're at this space here, this time here, where we're like really trying to get you to press on. What is your motive behind all of that? What is your motive for wanting to excel or build something for yourself? What is your reason?
I want to just say not for myself.
Right.
For myself, it's the passion that I have for what I do.
Beautiful.
That's
so it's
for myself.
Intrinsic.
It's
which
intrinsic.
I'm always talking about my intrinsically motivated. Shout out intrinsically motivated. Get your merch.
That's my passion.
Right.
But my motive is the love of people.
Beautiful. Beautifully said.
That's my motive. Because it ain't about the money and all. Yeah, I want to be financially stable.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's just my passion makes it easier for me to do what I want to do, and
enjoyable.
I can do it
so much more enjoyable
with love.
So much more enjoyable.
You get what I'm saying?
And sincerity.
Yeah.
Genuine.
Yeah. You gotta have a passion for what you're doing.
Absolutely. It makes it easier.
Yeah. So I love to cook, and I want to share that with the world, and that's me showing them love.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I respect that. Well, looking forward to it, man. I'm here for you. Whatever you need from me, you already know I'm support you 100%. I'm glad you came by so we could talk and we could chop it up about this. Obviously, you'll be a reoccurring guest because we're going to talk about a myriad of things in regards to, business, entrepreneurship, family, relationships, you name it, being a dad, being a husband, you know what I mean? We could talk about a lot of things. So thanks for stopping by today, man. Can't wait till next time. I can't wait to see what comes forward.